Sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Hola.
Okay, we're going to begin with this second panel, which, as I said today, will be very good. We're very looking forward, very happy about this. And very proudly, we have Soy Fira, Fira or Camila for her daddy and mommy for her parents. And she'll be telling us about her short but already successful career as a crypto artist, Giselle. I leave you with this a panel for you to moderate after the introduction video. Thank you very much, everyone, and thanks for being here. And today we have the pleasure of having Soy Fira in this panel. Soy Fira is the first Colombian crypto artist. She needs no introduction, so I'll allow her to introduce herself.
NFT en el Metaverso. Soy Fira, Cripto Artista, Colombia. Moderadora, Giselle Reuben, Vocal 3 ASIPI, Costa Rica.
I'm a force of nature, I'm authentic, and very similar to myself. The battle, continuous lines with which I make drawings serve as an analogy to say we're all connected. And at the same time, each drawing is an evidence of time used expressly in observing, listening, and understanding others. Never again had we been so connected, and never again so many tools were at the reach of so many, and I include myself. Each line is unique, unrepeatable. Lines that bring together moments, people, dreams, stories. Each person is different, and each line in my work also. The interesting thing is that these lines and drawings are not loose, just flying, but they find their habitat in my digital world. Being authentic is the only way in which I can establish a real connection with others. And this way we can say that my work has many nuances. It can not only be conceived as an image creation exercise, its value, it's in everything that surrounds. My work as crypto artist has become the best vehicle to achieve these collections. I connect and I'm able to have what I define as intellectual orgasms, but with the power of love, and to listen and to have a shared vision, contagion people. Definitely education with technology can transform people, communities, countries, and the world. The world throughout moves and connects and lives in a parallel universe called Internet, called Metaverse. Welcome to my Metaverse. And this was me when I was small, very hyperactive, very curious, and drawing and creating, and soiling my clothes. and we're all connected to one drawing, because when we're connected with our soul, we can vibrate much higher. I draw into one line. This means that once I start, I don't remove my hand until I finish, because I do it. Why do I do it? Because life is ephemeral, and we have to say what we feel in the moment, because after it could be too late. And for that reason, between dancing, I came in dancing, I jumped off a parachute in Dubai, and I'm always in that gathering and that pursuit and that battle to connect with my soul, and I want people to be connected with their soul. And I have really enjoyed this conference, because I expected to see you like in suits, and and now I find something very different. If you stop being intellectual property attorneys, who would you be? Yourselves, your souls. If we take they take away all our degrees, who would we be? I met a person where you go to this person's house, and the first thing you see is their Harvard degree and Stanford MBA degree. And if you take this away from him, he'll die, literally. And these are my drawings. I've started drawing in museums, as I said, my manifesto, and I want to leave just beyond learning crypto art and NFTs. And the reason why I started in this world is to connect with your soul. And here I'll share my story. At 17 years of age, I had Donde Escribir is my foundation, where we make notebooks with cereal boxes and recycled paper for low-income children. And then my dad, I started studying civil engineering. My dream, the only daughter, will continue with his company. And this is with my brother. I'm 26, and he also has 26. Nicola, in June. My birthday is in August. But let's continue with the story. So this is 2013. My dad very proud at the first bridge I made for a class. And then in 2016, I left for Paris, and someone said, "Wow, you have very good eye for, what do you study?" And I said, "Oh, civil engineering." And they tell me, "Well, my dad's an art collector." "But you have talent. What are you doing studying civil engineering?" So I listened, and I started taking pictures, and that today I don't even have an idea how to use a camera. I do it from my cell phone. Then in July 2018, my brain starts being affected by photography. I start loving art, aesthetics, architecture, fashion. So I start drawing in museums with one line, because as you can see, I'm quite direct. I go straight to the point, and there I start discovering that personality, and I put my personality to art. And as I said, I started traveling here and there, and I would open and close the museums, and my dad was hysterical, and he was saying, "What are you doing with your life?" And I would basically was there to open it and then to close it. And he said, "Well, let's talk when you're over with this." After all of this, I visit my grandmother. She's from Armenia. She's like 30 minutes away from Bogota in Armenia, Colombia. I said, "Hey, Grandma, go ahead and knit this shirt for me." And I put it in Instagram of 500 followers and 5 friends. They tell me, "Wow, I want this. I love it. Can you go ahead and make one for me?" And for these people, they thought I was a fashion designer. The next day, they were asking me to knit the shirt. And then I had my Instagram of Soy Fira and creating photography and creating, where I bring together all my creations. And then I launched my brand, like a world of art, and that's where I start. And what I always say is, many people have incredible ideas, but they must have the structure and all the things and money and all these things to do it. But Instagram, social media, now you can do it and start selling. What else? And in all this, I continued studying civil engineering. I lost one of the subjects, and the third and the fourth time I failed, and then I had to go live in Cali. That's for the next talk if I'm invited. And then I pursued. Uh, I had to sell. I did it where I would dance and sing ranchera type songs. And then in 2019, I was chosen to represent Colombia in a Wild Young World, which is the biggest competition in the world, and with my foundation. And here I introduce my platonic love. His name is Richard Branson. I love him. I adore him. We were good looking together. If you know him, Google him. And so I had a show. I had everything planned. I remember Richard Branson. It was at 3:15. How is he going to like me? I thought. And when I had the whole plan, so I took Richard Branson's book with me, and something that said, "I love Richard Branson." Like when they would applaud, I said, "This is my opportunity." So I stand up out of nowhere, and they turned cameras to me. And after that, I turned to security. It turns to security, and there, I I see the media, and they're talking security, and they're saying she's okay, she's good. And then Kate, one of the One Young World co-founders, said, "Come." And so I go, I give him this, and finally Richard Branson has one of my works, one of my T-shirts. And the happiest day in my mother and father's day is when I graduate as a civil engineer. And soon, to his face, he couldn't believe after 6 years of suffering, his daughter had graduated as a civil engineer. And obviously my dad was very happy, finally, and we're right in the middle of the pandemic. So all the China gossip was coming, and it was going to go crazy. And my dad was saying, "Camila deserves a party to celebrate." So the party was art decor, and he almost dies about this. As one of the posters I had for my party, the invitation, and I decorated absolutely everything. And after 10 days, Colombia was locked down, everything was closed, and coronavirus started. And also coronavirus was also around. And in that process, I learned that the bridges I want to build was between people. And in that process, during the pandemic, I worked 8 days with my dad, because the clothes factories were closed, and he was proud. He was saying, "This is my company. I'm going to continue with this. I'm going to inherit that." And that lasted like 8 days. Something's happening here. How about now? So that lasted 8 days, and I said, "Dad, I love you. God bless you, and I won't continue with this. I want to follow my dream, my art." And I started drawing, and painting. And the only influencer who supported me, who shared, was Dana Miller. She's from Costa Rica, precisely from Costa Rica, and she, on May 7th, 2020, Nana, and I started drawing people, and I would charge $15. My dad was hysterical, and he said, "Are you really going to live for $15 at a time?" I said, "Yeah, Dad, hold on, you'll see." So I would wake up very early, I'll do my art, and he was in the other corner with his civil engineering things. And what I would do here, I did it by hand, because obviously I didn't have money to buy an iPad, and obviously my dad was not going to buy it for me. and I would scan because I did have a cell phone, an iPhone, and I would scan it. I would use Picolage, an app, a free app. I would put a background because I have a saying that has life could be black and white, but it depends on you on putting color to it. And then I would send it, and that's how I started receiving love from around the world. And then I said it's 15, it's been 45, it's been 70, it's been 100, and then the story continues. So I started painting in all the walls in the restroom. I would fill my room with everything. I started drawing the house or painting the house. And since we were remodeling, I said, they're going to remodel the house. This is going to be taken down, so let me paint the walls. And then American Eagle called me and they said, can you paint pants? So they chose between 9 other artists. I lost that contest, and I was, and my dad was. But there I had 2,000 likes and like 500 comments of people who wanted that. And back then I only had 5,000 followers, so it's crazy in social media, and without paying $1 to Facebook, and not even an attorney. I will have to work with you, but I try to save as much as I can. So I produced that and I raised 10 countries, and they were sold very quickly, and it was a very nice process. And then my dad starts changing. His thoughts. He says, kind of she has a future, but I was still a crypto artist, so I continued painting the house, and he said, go ahead. And a few days later, this happens. Jay Baldwin calls me. I love him because I love the people, how he speaks openly about his things, and he speaks openly about his depression. I don't know if it's marketing or what the reason is, but he calls me. He had my drawings, and then he visits me in my house, and I said, look, my dad allows me to pay, and I can pay the column. So I started getting support with results. And this, if you want to take a picture of this, never forget. I went to Metaverse. The first day I wore the goggles was in February 2021, a little over a year ago. So it's not that late if you go in now, because if you wait until the Medellin Congress, I would say, no, it's very late. And then on March 15th, I become the first crypto artist woman in Colombia. How was this process? Well, I knew nothing. I really knew nothing about this, but I understood blockchain, and then I'll explain that. But once again, I took this picture because we want to speak about that. But first, I wanted to share my story for you to understand where I come from. And then I started, I was appearing in Forbes, crypto artist, and then I was telling my dad, Dad, you don't know, I'm the first crypto artist in Colombia. And he was like, well, that seems like a fraud. Like, and he said, I'm Colombian, and there was this person called David Gurcia Guzman, and he started saying, that seems to be like DMG, like ATMG. And I said, Dad, I'm in Forbes. It's impossible for this to be a fraud. So he starts investigating, and I get COVID, and I was interviewed, and I was being supported. My family was supporting me, and it stayed up the night like till 4 a.m. because you know what they started asking me about? Intellectual property. I had just returned. I know it was crypto. I was just learning about NFTs. It was all happening very fast. And besides that, they started asking me about intellectual property. And since my dad, he does tenders, so he has that attorney. So I told him, Dad, you have to stay up all night because we'll be attacked again in these interviews. So I'm sure an attorney would come, and I have to answer all these questions about intellectual property. So the interviews start. I start traveling. I go to a first physical NFT gallery, because until you don't live it, don't enjoy it, as we say in Barranquilla's Carnival, until you do that, you understand its power. So those who have not registered for the parapenting, it's good. Do it. or go somewhere where they have these goggles to live that experience. Or in Bogota, they have arepas, the most famous ones in the Metaverse. I have them in my. Then comes 2021, and I have the travel to the space with Jeff Bezos. Then I represent Colombia in Expo Dubai. I lived there for 5 months. There, where I'm with Lev Nasser, who is a DMCC chairman. It's the most important crypto center. And there's Felipe also, the Copetrol president. I told him to post this way, but he didn't pay attention. He didn't do it. And it was a very nice experience because Master Fernando Otero was there and Fira. Obviously, it was a 3 months preparation, working hard to represent Colombia as I should. I always feel I'm the voice of many women also. And then I was invited to paint in Formula One. And many ask me, I don't understand. You're full of contacts. How do you do this? And while in Formula One, a friend called me and said there was a conference of NFTs, of Metaverse, those things you like. You should go. So I went there. And when the speaker finished, I introduced myself, and there was 5 others there. And he says, someone there, my dad said, and this person told me, I love your story. Tomorrow we're going to Abu Dhabi and you're going to paint for Formula One. And I was thinking, no, they think it's fraud. I'm Colombian. They're probably going to kidnap me. And we investigated, and after 24 hours, I was riding a car with him to go to Formula One in Abu Dhabi and paint live. And there I met the owner or the founder of Binance, which is the biggest currency exchange post in the world, and Lockbox, who is one of the biggest influencers in the region, in Dubai. And then I went to paint live in Kenya, and this what I'm doing there. I'm interviewed from Sky News because I issued some scholarships for women in technology and STEM. I want more women to become part of this world, because in the past, women would take care of the children, but no longer. Now you can work, you can be educated, you can do what you want, and also raise children. And you can do that with technology. For that reason, I love to support women in all these things. And then I started appearing in more press, Risa Bloomberg, and NFI, and painting live. And I love to paint live. And if you like it, I go around the world painting. And this was the most important conference for Metaverse in Dubai. It was in Dubai. And I'm appointed as one of the 5 leading women in NFTs by Boom. And a short time ago, I just came back from Washington because I was in this book, the at least 27 bold ideas to reimagine the U.S.-Colombia relationship. And once again, women power present in NFTs. And now I'm here. And this is very funny. This happened because I'm very sarcastic. I like to really play with this. And so I went to an NFT event in Christie's, one of the most auction house in the world, with Sotheby's. And I take my cell phone and I see the works of art of the artist. So once you see behind, these are very famous artists. And I put my cell phone and take the picture what you see there. So people started congratulating me because they were sure I was in Christie's, because I wrote exhibiting my NFT at Christie's was my dream since I started my career in NFT. And people were, wow, congratulations. And obviously people don't read. So this happened, and I was amused by this, and I started seeing these comments on Instagram, everyone congratulating me. And then I went from selling $15 to $12,000 And this is Ananas. He has a DAO. It's called Artista, which is the most important NFT in Dubai. And the ones that are personalized is worth one ETH, and it will cost much more. And here I always dreamt about having these intellectual orgasms connect with souls, and I have now reached 40 countries from my computer, from my tablet, and just simply eager and have eager and passion. And here it comes, lights, camera, action, and I draw and you dance. All right, let's see who can read it backwards. Can anyone read it backwards? It's not backwards. It's pretty crazy. In any case, I wrote I'm a intellectual property attorney, and I had to kind of learn this thing about NFTs. And I answer, I only know how to dance. But now that you see it from my iPhone, you see it's backwards. In any case, art, and now you can pull out your notebooks. We're going to write things down. We're going to learn. We're going to make it easy for you. And why did I start with this? Well, because I love this phrase. It's my phrase, which is art reflects what happens in society. So. And to go deeper in this, what is currently happening? Well, technology, right? It's technology. So when we mix technology and art, what do we get? Digital art. But digital art by itself doesn't have a authenticity certificate for attorneys of this work of art in internet. What happened in the past? Well, digital artists had to go and print their digital work and had to print their authenticity certificate for their work to have value in internet. There's a very famous artist called Hubme, and he paints in internet, but for years, and he's in Sotheby. He sold his arts, but he had to print his digital work. And what happened after the pandemic? Art became a need for human beings, and art and technology became a need for human beings. In the past, technology was just a tool. If you used it, okay. If you didn't use it, it was okay. But after a pandemic, everything was with technology because we were all locked down somewhere in the world. And the world throughout endured the pandemic, no matter where it was. We had to all go through this. And the only kind of salvation we had for this to survive was technology. So once again, and I'll go back, art reflects what happens in society and what is currently happening, mandatory technology because of the pandemic. But for it to be clear, we're going to take a journey through art with this phrase. Medieval church and the kings, and they'll take very good artists and say, you come here, you have to paint this. And because they wanted money, the church wanted money, so they would paint, and for people to get money, and everything was sacred, and they said, if you don't pay, you go to hell. So you had to produce money. And then came a Renaissance, and Michelangelo, Da Vinci, and they said, no, we are now the center of the universe. And anatomy starts. They start opening bodies up. Why is Mona Lisa Mona Lisa? Well, this person opened all the bodies and knew how we were inside. Well, because Leonardo da Vinci is incredible, but at that time they focused on knowing how humans were. Humans were the center of the universe. Then came Rococo, Marie Antoinette, France, monarchies, and what happened in these times? Well, they would make them marry between very powerful families, and the most famous drawing is the swing. Husband is pushing the wife, voila, friends. And then comes Impressionism. Back in that time, once again, my phrase, let's go back to my phrase, which is, art reflects what happens in society. So in Impressionism, they create an oleum, and then if we go to Museum du Louvre, you see all these landscapes. And why all this happens? Well, because all of a sudden the artists could take their oiled paints, and they would go anywhere and paint, and you could see women in the grass lying down and the birds, and this is what most of the works of art look from Impressionism. And then in 1950, Andy Warhol, pop art. And where does pop art come from? The people. Sandy Ward said, come on, let's make some money with the people. And she produced cheap works of art instead of making one work of art and make $1 million. Andy Warhol, and she did all over the place. She painted. And what is happening now? Well, in your mind, once again, art reflects what happens in society, technology, and NFTs. But although you don't believe it, NFTs exist, so take out your cameras, and I'll just move to the side. Very well. That's how I like it. Very well. Doing your work. And how many attorneys are here? 200 attorneys. So we started in 2012 with colored coins, and we're in 2022, so it's been 10 years. And after Ethereum was created, the most famous ones, famous blockchains are Ethereum and Bitcoins. As far as you can take that away today, we're doing good. But Ethereum is the most important one for me. That's where I sell. And then we start, and NFTs projects start in 2017. The most famous ones are CryptoPunks and CryptoKitties. For me, there's three different times. When it's created, like in 2017, then when more NFTs projects start, and no one knew about these. And then this time, when the pandemic started, what I just explained, the phrase I'm sure you all know by heart. And on March 11, 2021, Beepo, which is the most famous crypto artist, sells his work to $69 million. What? 69 million. You can Google it. So what happens? Since human beings already understand the power of technology, and it became a need, what I just explained about those who do art, digital art, and technology with blockchain, people understand that it's no longer about a JPG. This is digital art with an authenticity certificate, and that's where I need all of you, because there's many things behind this, and we're in these current times where we have the Metaverse. The most famous platform is OpenSea, alias Mar Abierto, because anyone in any part of the world can open their computer, and as I say in my world, they publish, they post a work of art. And this is exactly the same thing as uploading a picture in Instagram, description, posting the picture, some other data, and publish and sell. Let's sell. So this is a platform I started using, and many use. There's a very famous NFT collection, which are the Micos or the Bored Apes. So this is the most famous NFTs collection there is. So I'm going to show a bit of OpenSea. You can visit, and Soy Fira, and you can see absolutely everything there. So you visit, it's in Soy Fira NFTs, and you can see it's me. And you can see it's me because I'm verified, and everything that belongs to me is Soy Fira. And I'm sure you know it's important for all social media to have the same name to not cause confusion, and that has served me a lot, because I have a number of stories I'll share where I've been hacked. Instagram, they duplicated my accounts. Today, precisely, we had the Instagram account where Soy Fira with double F. And here you can see that I have 108 collections or collectors. I have traded 26 0.3 Ether, and I have 76 NFTs. But you might say if you have 180 collectors, it doesn't match to the number next to it. So hold on. And blockchain has something which is marvelous, which are the 3 T's. And take a picture, this is important. Very well. So what happens here? Well, these are 3 T's: transparency, traceability, and transfer of value. You can see this is my NFT, and it was sold. It was sold 14 days ago at 0.35 Ether, and I sold it to Pesuo. The names in Metaverse are, I don't know what they are doing, what type of drug, but they're very creative. And I sold another NFT at 0.35 to Caldroma, and I don't know which of these 2 names are more creative. And then you can see Pesuo said, I'm going to make some money with Fira's NFTs, I'm going to sell it. And they sold it to Ciples, or Ciplev, and you can see that from 0.035, he sold it to 0.08. So go ahead and do the math in your computer to see how much he made. So what happens that there's transparency, because in this moment someone can visit my OpenSea and see what I'm saying. There's no Photoshop. I don't use Photoshop. Traceability, because we can see absolutely everything. You can see it 14 days, 9 days, 3 hours. Obviously, this is constantly changing. So if you visit right now, you won't see those numbers. And then traceability, because everything can be seen. And then transfer of value, because I'm transferring my my digital asset to Mr. Pesudo. And then we have how OpenSea moves. It's crazy. You can see the Bored Apes, the second ones, which are the Micos I told you about, and this is also in OpenSea. And here, what I said before, this is my most famous work of art, and I have stickers with this. At the end, you'll be able to see me, and you can say, Fina, give me a sticker, and if I like you, I'll sign it for you. I'll go ahead and give you the autograph. And this is very interesting for you to see that we all make mistakes when we start, but the important thing is to start. That's why I like to show all this NFT activity. When I started, I had 2 options. I would dream alone and do this in the internet, or shorten my learning curve. Obviously, I chose the second option, and I started looking for the crypto nerds. And the crypto nerds, I will tell them, I'm very good in PR, in social media, but in crypto, I know nothing. If you show me crypto, I show you what I'm good at, and we can help each other. And that's how I became the first crypto artist woman in Colombia. So my invitation is, I teach you about NFTs, and you teach me about intellectual property. So in this, I made a mistake, and I had to get a reach of crypto nerds. There was no information about this in Spanish, very little information in English, very little. Right now, you have to be careful who you use to be educated. It could be con men. So I put it at 0.3, but this is web. This is a different type of currency. It's another type of madness. And the night I sold everything, I was in Clubhouse, 120 listening, and I was talking about this topic because Clubhouse was a platform where we would meet to speak about different topics. And I was convinced already, I'm going to do this. I love this. I love blockchain technology. And there, I introduced myself. Mario was there. He was my first collector. He is Mexican. He worked in FIFA for many years. I created a gallery in Metaverse. Check it out. It's called Alter Gallery. And he said, Fira, I love what you do. I saw everything. I want to be your first collector, but I don't want in WEF change it to Ether. Otherwise, I can't buy it. And I said, what do I do? So I sent them a Zoom link, and he said, do this, share screens, help me. And between Chris Vanderhens, who was the Platzi founder and my favorite technology platform, he helped me to change it. I changed it to Ether, and in Ether you can see, well, you can't see the dates, but if you click on this, you can see exactly the time for everything. So I changed it to Ether. It was sold. There was a sale. I was crazy. I couldn't believe it. And then Mario, I don't know what happened to Mario in his head. I had to talk with him. He sold it for 2 Ethers. I said he's crazy. A year ago, and he sold it for 2 Ether. And then somebody very smart said, you're crazy. It's the most famous Fira work of art. Why are you giving it away at 2 Ether? And look what he did. He canceled. And there you can see that 4 months ago, Mario had a very intelligent friend and told him, don't do that, please, and cancel that sale. So you can see beautiful blockchain technology. So we have 2 options that having works of art one-to-one or with copies. So, and you might say, well, I don't understand this. I don't know if you've like the banner track, those artists, many times it's printed, it's not unique. If you look with a magnifying glass in the corner, it says 1 of 100 or 1 of 1,000, and you think you have the only one, the only copy. But so pay attention to what you buy. See if you're buying 1 of 1 or how many copies the same work has. So this NFT was created for Wine and World to support girls in STEM in technology. And then this other work, this is a one-to-one. It belongs to a collector of mine in Los Angeles, Daniel, and this NFT he already is using as a Twitter profile, because in Twitter you could put your profile to certify it's you. So you put your NFT, and he's very proud. He has his image in Twitter with this NFT. And then you might say, well, I want to understand more about Soy Fira. So here you can see the price of that my collectors paid and how much they're selling it for, and take a picture. That way you can think about it after this talk and analyze, do the math. Very well. And these are my collectors, and kind of famous. Mario Valle, the one I told you, the one of the Christian, who's the Platzi founder, Andres Bilbao, who is the Rappi co-founder, and we have Chris Mattern, who is very well known in England. And you are missing right down here. And this is one of my most famous works. This work of art here went to space. This is the one sold to 3 Ether to the co-founder of Wontley, a famous platform. I met him in Dubai. This work over there, the one in space, the one in black to the right, top right, it belongs to the top boys in LinkedIn. Here I had an artistic crisis for what was happening at the beginning. It was too fast, and I was thinking, who am I? So this was like the first work that where I found intense inner thoughts. This is my Mona Lisa, the Bitcoiner, and it's animated. And you can visit my OpenSea to see what I have. Now I have my iPad with me, and what I do is that I paint a lot, I sketch like I just did, and what I do is that people paint with me, and I have a saying that, as I said, life could be black and white, but it depends on you on giving it color. And that one right now is 0.5 Ether. People paint it with me, and we upload it together to OpenSea as a complete different experience. This one is worth 1 Ether, but and I have how I created that, how I started from 0. The cost is 0.5, and then manager is there. You can speak with him. And obviously, I wouldn't be anything without a Fira team. I have Papa Manager, which big he's a big roller in the Metaverse, and he went to Disney to live the Star Wars experience. I have Mama Fashion, the one who is always supporting me, taking care of me, and I have the Monkey Rules, Oswa, Mafe, Lina, Isa, Dana. And without them, I wouldn't be here going crazy because it's not only about painting pretty, but there's a whole team supporting logistics. There's a number of things, and look what's missing. Who could it be? My intellectual property attorney. There he is. And social media is highly important in this world because that's where everything is. Twitter and Telegram is very important, although my strongest platform is Instagram and the TikTok. And any person can become a crypto artist. Any person can be part of this world, just willing to and wanting to, and start publishing, start telling who you are and what you do. And so you might say, why will I buy a JPG and put it in my computer and have it there? And take a picture of it. That way, it'll look in. That's how it look in your homes when you buy it. So there are two options. There's NFT TVs or these picture holders about this size, and these are called infinity objects. They sell them in New York, and you don't have to apply for. Not anyone can have it. You have to apply to get it. So please use these type of picture holders, or it's crazy. They don't have physical offices, so this is a huge business to produce these picture holders, and this is what your NFT would look like, a Fira in your homes. And now you have two options to become part of this NFT world. And tell me, that's just. And I can explain all the questions you might have, because after years, you will regret it. And to wrap it up, I was selected to be in Times Square, in the billboards, where they're saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year. I'm going to be there from 20th to the 23rd. It's the most important NFT week in the world, which will be NFT NYC. Richie, you want to join me? And here it is. Out of 1,500 artists, they only chose 150, and it's only 5 Latin Americans. Latin power. And obviously, I wasn't going to leave without telling you how to buy an NFT. So it's 3 steps. You buy crypto in Binance or in Coinbase, and Ricky's an expert in that. You can talk to Richie. And then you open a MetaMask wallet, which is the most famous one, and then you connect your wallet to OpenSea. And I have a team supporting that does all this process, so don't worry about it. You can know less about NFTs, and I can fix all your problems. And there it is. I meet you in Metaverse, meet you in New York City. We'll see you in live. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fira. Your story is fascinating. And I would like to ask you, how was that transition to sell? Did you ever have this transition from traditional works of art to the sale of NFTs? As I said, I realized the power of this technology, that when we mix art and blockchain, finally my digital works had a certificate of authenticity. And also because of the pandemic, as I said, in the past I didn't have not even an iPad. I would scan, I would send, and the collector would say, well, send it physically. And I said, who's going to pay for the carrier and its postage? It's going to be more expensive than the work itself. And I was thinking, what do I do? And my dad is telling me, I told you, I told you. So I understood then the power of blockchain technology and also how Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 would happen in Web 2. That there's Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg leaves Harvard to create Facebook. And now Facebook, Meta, and where does Meta comes from? Metaverse. Of course, that's a thing right now. And how many NFTs have you sold? And what's the most expensive one? That's homework for you. OpenSea.io, Fira. I already showed you how to do that. Otherwise, I'll get mad. What's been the most expensive one? The 3 Ether, which I showed in red. I had a question, a more traditional question. Have you registered your works before any intellectual property office? No, that's why I'm here talking to you for that reason. And the last question, have you so far had any case of a violation or infringement? Every day, I mean, they try to hack me. They change my name to Soy FFI or OpenSea. They enter another account for me and my works. But I think the important thing, like with Mona Lisa, how many Mona Lisas, how many copies is there in the world? Mona Lisa, millions, but which is the original one? Well, Leonardo da Vinci's. So it's very important as an artist to have a very clear drawing, no matter what they do. You'll know it's yours. Like Coco Chanel, the more they copy is because you're doing it better. So I'm being copied. Yes, that's completely true. The more success you have, is that it's when that happens. What happens? Just one line for you. It's everything. At technical level, what I explained, I start drawing and I don't lift my hand. But as far as the soul, is that life is ephemeral and we must say what if we feel at the moment. I think the pandemic changed everyone's life. I think we all lost a relative and all the things that happened afterwards. And sometimes we always think we're going to live to 100 years, but we could live up to 20 years of age. Just a short time ago, a friend committed suicide. So you start thinking what's happening. A lot of that is happening. Apparently, people are not connected with their soul. And this breakfast, I had the opportunity to talk to an attorney. I don't recall the name. And he said, after a pandemic, I was locked down and they wouldn't call me doctor during the pandemic. And the suit was away, and it was great to see them without that formality, because for me the most important thing is knowledge, what we have, what we carry within, and because we all are the same at the end. So it's that I just want a world that is connected with the souls, and we could vibrate much higher, and the higher we vibrate as everything is and will be much nicer. So that, for me, is just one line. Because of the time, and I know that everyone has many questions for you, we're going to open a Q&A session. I'm alone against the world. I have 18 left. Fira, I'm 20. I've been coming to ASIPI 23 years, and I don't recall enjoying a conference such as today. I'll go ahead and ask you something, a very deep question. There are many grandparents here. You know, if it's international property, Richie or my dad, but don't ask me such dense things. There are many grandparents here. I have a daughter who is 15 years old. And the question is, what do your parents do with the engineering company? Ask him. He's in the back. I know we're going to have to leave our offices. He's the one in the back, white. You see him? He's right there, right in front of me. Daddy. And my mom, well, the one who suffered the most is my dad. I would have to calm him down and relax. Hi, greetings, Fira. I have a quick question. How do content creators, how could they monetize in the resale market? You sell, and then there's a resale market, and so you continue monetizing. That's where the famous smart contracts come in. I have two examples. In OpenSea, you have the option to say how much you want to receive in the secondary market. Obviously, I put the maximum, which is 10%. But 2 days ago, I uploaded my work that will appear in Times Square, and you can check my social media, and it gives me options A, B, C. So it was like 10 copies or 20 copies. And in the price, they would add from 0102030405 or 1 Ether. And I chose 10 copies of zero point 0.5 Ether. And because I said, well, I'm not the mega famous one, yes, I'm not going to put 10 copies, 1 Ether. It's better to say sold out than thinking you're the maximum, not sell as much. And it also said in resale that you can ask Papa Manager, I can say, well, I received something, you received something else, another percentage. And that is in the smart contract. The thing is, and I'll tell the truth, everything has been so fast. I went to live to Dubai in November. I just got back. I'm in Miami with 2022, and I haven't stopped. But a collector said, Fina, please stop for a moment and make your own smart contract. So now I already have my own smart contract. I'm learning how it works and everything. I would like for someone to said and for us to meet, and I could tell how OpenSea worked, read together, and I could show you my collectors. I have one that knows a lot about this, but this is already happening. NFT NYC, and I invite you to go to New York, and Sofina is going to be there. Sorry, no mic. Someone's asking, why do I write backwards? And the truth is, my phrase, the life is so short to not waste time with people, but I do spend time with curious people, intellectuals that are open-minded. So when you write backwards, those who are curious don't ask, read it immediately, or take the time to see what you're doing. But the basic person is like, hey, I don't understand. What does it say there? And I'm just thinking, it's not you. So next one. Is it your birthday? Yes. You're the one from gaming. Happy birthday to the gamer. Speak with Papa Manager. Just, I have 13 minutes, 29, 28. Let's see, anyone else ask any other question? Colombia, come on, Colombia for the world, for Medellin. Hello, Fida. Thank you very much, and I think that, in fact, not only you impressed us, but you exceeded our expectations. Good, Richie. My question is, a bit out of ignorance, how do you manage wholesalers or intermediaries? Because in the practice, the world of galleries, as you said the other day, that experience with the galleries that you had initially. What is the world, these art galleries in NFTs? Does OpenSea represent the purpose of intermediaries? That's a very dense question, but I wanted to know, is there any gallery owners here or relatives of gallery owners? Well, that's my question. Let's start. Unfortunately, art, some say art is on marketing. You cannot sell as an artist. You know why that happens? Because the art gallery owners, it's not convenient for them to sell. They're not going to make money. So for me, this is like if you have a platform where you can showcase yourself in the world for everyone to see. To get to visit OpenSea is marvelous, but not everyone is like Fira. Thanks to my family, I have that entrepreneur mindset, very curious. I get in marketing courses, sales, and I'm doing everything. But not everyone has that personality of go and sell yourself and do and all this. So for me, a gallery, there's everything for everyone. For me, the gallery has to continue existing for artists that don't have that personality, extroverts and entrepreneur personality, because if you don't know how to sell, you're screwed. And a gallery is for that. So right now, I went to gallery. I'm going to Miami Bid 2022, but I'm very direct in any case, and I will tell them. But they'll tell me sell here, but I was telling them you're a gallery. You sell. I sell in my OpenSea. That's what I use. That's so galleries will continue existing, and obviously, since we all require or need validation, obviously Christie's in Sotheby's tells me, Fira, do you want to be here? I'll tell them, you know what, I'm the max. I'll sell alone. That's not the case. It's the most important auction house in the world. So obviously that you'll want to be there. So voila. Anyone else? I have 10 minutes.
And otherwise,
Yeah, it's okay,
perhaps
it's okay.
it can be translated.
I speak like Sofia Vergara.
First of all, I would like to echo what's been said before. It's one of the most engaging presentations I've ever seen at an IP conference. So thanks so much for that.
I need to do it in English to grow in English next time.
But maybe that's because you're an artist and we're only lawyers, so I guess that can be improved. My question is, where is crypto art in museums? It's not an IP question, but it's just...
Yeah, there is a... ¿En qué respondo?
I respond in English, yeah?
That just opened in Seattle. Also, if you go to Sotheby's or Christie's, sometimes you will find a part of NFTs if they are in auction. I was in New York like 10 days ago, and they didn't have anything about NFTs. But when I went like 1 year ago, there was an exposition about NFTs. And every day there are more NFT galleries, and more and more and more and more. Yeah. So there is one, like the most famous one in New York, that is called Super Chief Gallery. I showed the picture. I was with a silver skirt doing like, and yes, and in my Instagram, follow me, and you will like, I'm like in an NFT hunting all the time, and Metaverse, what is happening.
I will do, but I think art like yours should be in museums as well. Like
thank you. So, yeah. If you have the contacts, thank you, thank you.
Anyone else with a question? I have 8 minutes left. Richie. All right, Richie. Sorry, no mic. I think Richie was asking that if physical artists will no longer exist. No, that's not the case. Richie wants to eliminate him. Richie is an IAP attorney in the Metaverse. You can see how Rich is already thinking. I don't think so. Artists in sculptures, very famous, are in the Greek and Roman times. But what's happening is that you have to wear the glasses. That the only way to understand what is happening is you have to wear the goggles. Once you do it, write to me, and we can play and connect, and we'll connect and we play. We can do yoga, whatever. And I have a Lechbuck, and it's really cool. And what will happen? Well, we'll have homes in the Metaverse with our digital works of art, and where you are, and you might think, I would never buy a Louis Vuitton purse for $4,000, but in Metaverse, you have an identity. Why do you wear the blue shirt and not a rock star shirt? Why? Sorry, no mic. Well, because that represents you. I don't know. No, Ricky, you have to start. He has to start researching who he is, but it's a different story. Very good. Very good. I wonder if anyone else has a question. Yes, final question. Guillermo. Do you think about creating your own metaverse? Obviously, as I said, everything has been so fast that after New York, I'll have some time available, and after that, I have to reapply for my visa because it expired. So I'll be the next step. Think about that. Very well. Someone's going to New York with me. An area of Pilar is going with me. It's from 20 to 23rd. It's called NFT in NYC. That's in June. I have two questions. First, Matias, and then Mario. Matias? Sorry, no mic. No, Mona Lisa, for instance, Frida, or animated works of art, like the ones that require a lot of work. For that, you take only one copy. Sometimes it's only one, and in other cases, more copies, 10 or 20. And according to that, you establish the initial price. And also, there's offer and demand. There's a huge issue which has always existed, which is ego, that they believe they're the max and with crazy prices. But I play with the offer and demand. How much are people willing to pay for me? In people, Sotheby's calls me, and I sell my works at 3 Ether. In Sotheby's, I could sell my works for 30, 40, 50 Ether. So it's crazy numbers, but Sotheby's already has the clients to sell my works at those prices. But I cannot believe I'm the maximum, because I have achieved big things, but I cannot go immediately from 3 Ether to 10 Ether because I think I'm the max, because I wouldn't be selling. And the great thing is secondary markets and collectors. As soon as you buy a work, there's a secret content, and with that secret content, I direct you to Instagram. It's a very cool community, and it's the community within the NFTs, because you upload or download a community that promotes you, and all the collectors are aware of your movements because they are investing in you. And the great thing is you have a work of art at home that you like. However, it's valued. My dad had some physical works at home, and he is like, I want to go ahead and sell this work. I want to take it out of my house. And I was saying, hey, Dad, let's see who can buy it. That's the way it works. But it's much more complicated to sell a physical work of art, even if the artist is famous. But sorry, I lost the question. We have one last question from Mari, and a final question. And today I'm going to be here all day, so you can ask me a question directly afterwards. I will adopt you. Besides, I will say our dad at the NFT world, write it down, that is Gary B. B and double E. He's a visionary, and he's not even an artist, but he understood the power of NFTs and the profits it brings. And 15 days ago, he had a huge NFTs conference, and you could only visit with NFTs. So NFT is much about community. You want to be part of, for instance, who ran yesterday? Who ran? See, look, we're a community. And then you have the lazy ones, the ones who went drinking. And raise your hand. Richie is one of those. You can see it. So NFTs is that. It's that authenticity certificate and being part of this tribe. And when something happens to you, change, you sell your NFT, and with that money, you could become part of a different tribe. And with my collectors, I'm thinking about what benefits to give them, what to do, how to spoil them. I'm always on top of them and taking care of them. And when I'm in a country and I know them, once I cooked my famous egg breakfast, arepas. And we have a last question, the last one. No, it's actually two questions. The first, what do you recommend to someone who is to start with this, that wants to do kind of what you do as a crypto artist or as a collector? No, like you, like an artist. And the second, I don't know if you want to answer, is why did you call yourself Soy Fira? Where did you get that from, Soy Fira? Well, the first one, there's a lot of knowledge in English, Spanish, and all languages. So my recommendation is to be careful who you get educated from. Now with Platzi, we're going to produce the best NFT course in Spanish because it didn't exist. Collectors met the best and the different branches of the NFTs, and we're going to give this course. And Platzi, well, he's doing it. You got to pay membership and all that. But for you to be aware of this course that we're going to give. But I recommend, is this for your daughter? This for your son or daughter? Well, what I recommend is social media, belongs to everyone. It's simply going out there and doing, and the word of mouth is very important. They speak good or bad or have them, whatever they talk. Hopefully they speak good about you. It's the most important thing. And it's sad. If someone is happy, they'll come and tell 5 or 10. So it's best a little well done than a lot. And what I do a lot is that I do make video calls. When somebody puts a very nice message, I make a video call, and they're all like, wow, you're calling me. I want to be like you, and thank you for what you did. And so why doesn't she have 30,000 followers? Or they see you like a super powerful. So, but let fame not take away the human part of you. I think that's the most important part. That's why I'm always dancing. And Soy Fira started because I started with black and white photography. And in that process, I was thinking I have to have an artistic name and not the name that my dear parents gave me. So, in that, I started investigation what Fira means. And Fira is the capital of Santorini. And I don't know if you've ever been there, never been there. I saw the pictures, I saw the structure, the houses are all white. And I was thinking, wow, perfect. Fira, my last name is Fierro Ramirez. And I'm going to be here otherwise with my parents. So, and it was a perfect combination, but fighting intelligent and thinking I do this with my name or Fira was actually crazy. So I said, Soy Fira, it's me. And so if you put Soy Fira in Google, it's me. But if you put just Fira, you'll die. I would be like in the 10th search in Google. So I say like that. People think my name is Soy. What is soy in English? Soybean, or so in English it's like
Yes, whatever.
Bueno, no.
So very well, very good, and we're going to close because of time constraint. No, I have 2 minutes. No, we're actually past 2 minutes. So thank you very much for being here. It's been a real honor to have you here. So thank you very much.
Ay, gracias. Gracias.
Maravilloso, Fira, gracias.
Wonderful, Fira. Thank you. No words. You have said everything you could say.
I am staying here until tomorrow. So if you have questions one-on-one, just find me. And I have stickers. I can sign your sticker if you behave with the same humor and passion. Now she's going to talk one-on-one on anybody. Don't miss the opportunity of talking to her. In 5 minutes, we will start with the next panel. We will Daniel from FIFA and Tanya from the Major League Baseball will be talking. Go get a cup of coffee, and we will start again soon.